The next category is accuracy. Is this content reliable, truthful, and correct?
That's right. And we need to know how accurate is the information. Where does it come from, first of all?
Yeah.
And good scholarship lets you know how they got their information.
Right.
And if they don't tell you how they got their information, it becomes less trustworthy.
Right. So we want to see that our information sources are supported by evidence, and we need to check that those types of evidence that it's supported by are reliable and pass our own tests.
Is it the kind of evidence that you would need to prove this sort of an idea? And how was the evidence gathered? Was it gathered in a way that fits good scholarship?
Right. And a fun example or an interesting example is political polls. Many times in a presidential race, you'll see opinion polls about different presidential candidates. However, a lot of the time, the polling organization in question may only ask people who are particularly favorable to a certain candidate, and so they'll produce results that are skewed.
That's right. If I put a poll, if I'm well, let's say if Donald Trump put a poll on donaldtrump.com,
Right.
saying, how do you think the president's doing? And unsurprisingly, 98% of the people who visited donaldtrump.com said he's doing a great job.
Right.
Maybe he'll go out to the microphone and say, hey, 98% of people say I'm doing a great job.
Right.
But the way he gathered that evidence
Was shoddy research.
it's low quality research, and it puts doubt on his conclusion.
Right. And the question of has evidence been reviewed or refereed is one way to really weed out strong evidence from weak evidence.
That's right. Review, some academic journals are peer reviewed.
Right.
And a peer reviewed academic journal means it's a journal where no article is published in that journal until other experts have looked at it, criticized it, and decided that it's good enough to meet the standard of experts in that area.
Yeah, I think most academic journals will have at least 3 reviewers. I've had friends that have submitted articles, have them sent back with critiques from the reviewers. They rewrite their articles, or they redo their research or some portion of the research, resend. I've had colleagues that have had back and forth with reviewers for 2 or 3 times, sometimes more.
Yeah, but once it's gone through that process, once other experts have given it their best and demanded the best from that writer, you can be pretty sure that the quality is top level.
Yes.
Does it fit logically with my knowledge from other sources?
Right, just intuitively, does it seem okay? This might not seem like that objective of a standard, but a lot of the time, if you're seeing something that just doesn't seem right, maybe sometimes you need to dig a little deeper and maybe trust your gut on that.
And earlier we said you should look at more than one source. You should look at a variety of sources. Well, if 7 of your sources are talking about the issue in one way, and then the 8th source gives a totally different look that completely contradicts the other 7, that might be a reason to distrust the number 8.
Right. A lot in the climate change debate now, you'll see minority opinions that put themselves out there that sometimes get inflated in the public discourse. You always want to be mindful of those kind of situations.
If some piece of writing is going against what seems like the consensus or what seems like a sensible way of thinking about the topic, or
Right.
just making something that is most people look at it as a simple problem and making it really, really, really complex.
Yeah.
There might be some shenanigans, there might be some trickery or some dishonesty happening there.
Yeah, or some just sincerely done bad research, which happens.
Is the language objective, unbiased, and unemotional?
Right. You want to look out for things like exclamation points, which if you watched our last video on the mechanics of writing, you know makes writing look unprofessional.
And it also attempts to manipulate the emotions of the readers.
Yeah.
Look at adjectives. Look at adjectives like words like terrible or great or excellent. Look at word choices that put judgment onto the topic.
Right. And also, as a reader, it's always your job to remain as cool and unemotional regardless of the source that you're reading.
Even if you agree with it.
Oh, that's the tough one. That is the hard one. And last, this is going to seem kind of obvious, but are there spelling and grammar errors? Are there formatting errors? These kind of things will usually signal to you that the writer or the reporter, whatever, are not professionals, are not specialized in the field, and are more likely to be just...
If they're careless and messy in small things like spelling and grammar, can you trust them to be careful and rigorous in big things like the quality of their research?
Right. Probably not.